So I know a few of you have been asking me to do a video, and I thought I'd try to make it somewhat interesting and talk about how and why I personally went vegan. So I've been vegan for 2.5 years now, and I was vegetarian for a few years before that, although I don't really remember how long for, but I would say I was around in my mid-20s anyway. Prior to that, I was an animal eater. I ate animals. That's just how I was brought up, like I think many people are. And I don't blame my parents for that. I mean, they were doing what they thought was best at the time, because that's what they had been taught, that you need meat and calcium for strong bones and things like that. I suppose in that respect it's kind of like smoking, as in at the time people were told it was safe and okay to do, and obviously as we now know the health implications, just like meat, processed meat has been proven to increase the risk of cancer, which we now know. But as a child, I would have called myself an animal lover. And I did love animals, but I was also eating them. And as we know, eating them doesn't equate to loving them. But I knew no different at the time. I didn't question what I was doing. I never knew any vegans or anything about veganism. I wasn't in that kind of environment. If you'd had asked me as a child, I probably wouldn't have known what a vegan was. But I do remember the day I stopped eating meat. I was just sat there eating this cheap and nasty burger, as I'm sure you can imagine, and I just looked down at it and I said to myself, how can you say you love animals yet eat them? Now, I don't know if I'd never asked myself that question before, or whether I never allowed myself to answer it. But I can only describe it as some kind of spiritual awakening. Now, this is where I lose you, but bear with me. I don't mean it necessarily in a religious sense. I just mean it was like the rose-tinted spectacles had been taken off. It was like the curtain had dropped and there was the Wizard of Oz in all his tiny glory. I just allowed myself to explore that question, and it was an uncomfortable one, but I looked deep into my soul that day and I realised that I could not love animals yet eat them. So from that moment forth, I never ate animals again, and I never have, and I never will. Now, I didn't necessarily go about it the right way. I didn't know anything about being a vegetarian, never mind a vegan. I was just eating the same thing, but with the meat taken off the plate. I had no idea. And it wasn't until, well, at the time, I was working part-time behind a bar, and this guy knew I was a vegetarian, and he was actually a vegan. And he got talking to me, and now I really respect the way he did it. He said it in a non-confrontational way. He said it really gently, like, eggs though, ovulation, milk. And he was just like, oh, there's some really nice ice cream, you should get it. It's in Holland and Barrett. And I was like, Holland and Barrett? What is this Holland and Barrett? I mean, I had no idea. I was ignorant. I just did not know. And so he had this like little vegan shopper guide, this little book what tells you all different things that you can eat in different shops, and he asked if I wanted to borrow it. So I said yeah, and I took that home and it had a little passage in it about the dairy industry and the egg industry. And I remember just reading this like tiny passage about this, and I just thought, shit, I need to go vegan. I realised that being vegetarian wasn't enough. If I had known sooner, I would have gone vegan. I thought I was doing enough by being a vegetarian. I thought that was enough. When I found out that cows were repeatedly artificially inseminated so they birth a calf so we can have their milk, and their calves are taken from them, and if they are male they will be kept and then slaughtered to be made into veal, and the females will be put back into the system to go the same way as their mothers until they are both spent and then took to slaughter. I thought to myself, what kind of life is that? As a woman, as a human, as a decent human being, would I like that doing to me? No. So why would I do that to another? It's not right. On what? So we can drink milk? I mean, how many different milks are there out there? There's like hemp, coconut, almond, soy. There's so many different milks that is just unnecessary. That is cruel. There is no reason to do that. And when I found out, for example, like how the male chicks I just killed, I never even thought about that. I was one of them people that went to the shop and I would see caged hens and the free range hens, and I'd be like, we're not getting the caged hens eggs, we have to go for that. And I thought, I believed the advertising, and it just goes to show the type of manipulation involved. And because at the end of the day, it's a product that they want to sell, and that's all it is. And I believed it. I believed these happy hens, and I never realised. But as soon as I found out, I wanted to go vegan. Now, I had no idea how I was going to go vegan. I just knew that I had to. And it wasn't until I started joining these Facebook groups, and it's one of the reasons that I admin Vegan UK, because I know how important these groups are. It can be a lonely road when you're the only vegan in the vicinity. And having that community and that support behind you, I think it's really beneficial. And I remember before I joined these groups, I had no idea what Fry's was, or Violife, or Linda McCartney, and I remember saying, we should try this Fry's. What is this Fry's I keep hearing about? I mean, everyone talks about having to give things up when they go vegan. I don't feel like I give anything up. In fact, quite the opposite. I've tried so much more different food, and I'm really excited about food now, and I enjoy cooking and different recipes. I mean, beforehand, I never even tried hummus, and now I fucking live for that shit. I never had a sweet potato. I mean, come on, what? I just kind of ate the same meals over and over, and going vegan, it feels fucking amazing. So much food. It is exciting. I don't feel like I've given up anything. And I think that's another good thing about social media, and why veganism is spreading much more quickly because of it. We don't have to rely on one news source. We can get information quickly and effectively, and we can find out the true horrors of what is happening by not relying on just what we're taught or told. We can question it and find out easily for ourselves the truth. And I think that's what you have to do, and that's what I did. I just questioned what I had been taught, And I asked myself, is this right? Am I doing this because I've just been told to do this, or do I actually agree with it? And I found that I did not agree to it, and so I did something about it and I went vegan. So that is how I went vegan and why I went vegan. And I think I just want to promote veganism because I truly believe that, well, it is the future. I mean, the state of the world right now, like climate change, veganism can help. And it can help not only you and your health and the animals, but the world in general. So that is why I'm vegan. I would love to hear how you went vegan, if you are vegan already, or if you're maybe transitioning or thinking about it and you have any questions, then just leave a comment and I will get back to you. If you like my videos, then subscribe, and if you don't, then hey, that's cool. I'll probably be doing more videos, reviews, and probably some of my spoken word stuff and art. So if you like I said, subscribe, and thanks for watching.